Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build, and also welcome to our submission for the Peppa Shell Challenge, which is Lilsimsie's latest shell challenge that she put up on her Twitch and also on her YouTube page. So if you would like to participate, the entries are due by January 27th. It is in the shape of a pig, hence the Peppa Shell name. It's just, you had to be there. But here is what we have started with. I decided to start it first and kind of give you a little rundown. We are in Innisgreen and we have a bunch of trees already on the lot. I also put down the little gazebo that came with Enchanted by Nature and the front door to kind of figure out where I was going to put things. And that is it. The rest of it is just the plain old shell. So we're going to jump into the actual speed build part of this in just a second after I move these trees ever so slightly so they are not clipping. That is very important. We don't want that. But the first thing I started on, which is a little unusual for me, is I started on the exterior landscaping with just framing the front door with these bushes. These are also from Enchanted by Nature. I don't remember if they're debug and live edit or if they're actually in the catalog. I kind of just look at them all together because there's really not a whole lot in the regular catalog, so more than likely these are a debug and live edit. I know for sure that the fallen down tree with all the mushrooms and grasses on it and the moss, that is probably from debug and live edit because it's so beautiful. Why would they give it to us in the regular build by catalog? Of course not. So we have a little side door as well going in, and then these stairs going up the side of the building. I wanted to kind of wrap it around, and my thought is that one half of this building will kind of look like a tree, like it's part of nature, and then the other part is a built-in part of a house, like it'll actually look like a house. And that was pretty much all I was going for with this. I didn't know how I was going to lay out the interior, but I figured if I got started on the exterior, that would help me with the final vision. I also put a little debug fairy house outside on that little tiny bump out because it just seemed like it needed one there. It just seemed to fit. It looked really nice. It's like a little outdoor decoration. And I put the little fake balcony over the other bump out closest to the right-hand side of the lot. And eventually I used tool mod to lower that down. I also took a very long time to figure out the roofing for this, so I did play around with it for a bit. But my idea was to make it kind of whimsical and fun, so we have like a kind of swoopy roof line up at the top, and then just continuing that for the front and back bump outs, and then also for the very back, which I don't show on camera because I totally forgot about it until the end, but I did that later. And then over here we have some of the wallpaper in for the tree side of the house with a little upper deck that is going to be for like the rooftop garden, and there's no ladder to it. The only sim who can get up there is the fairy who lives in this house, because they can kind of disappear in like a sparkly cloud and then reappear anywhere they want. They can teleport or fly instantly is what it's called. So that is her special rooftop garden, and that's also where I put the fairy house eventually for her to regenerate her emotional force and whatnot. I thought that was a nice little secret place for her to have separate from her other human sim who lives with her, which I believe is her partner. So because of that storyline, I made sure that this house was suitable for one fairy sim and one normal sim. And I also made sure that they had everything they needed to take care of their pet cat. And the cat I did get off of the gallery. So I'm going to put all of the gallery sims that I used for playtesting in the description box so that you guys can take a look later, because I found so many very interesting creations dealing with fairies and the mystical things. I couldn't pick. So there's so many on there, but I will leave those creators from the gallery in the description box. Here you will see I am just throwing a bunch of windows every which way. I was just kind of trying to make it look very like flowy and organic. I wasn't trying to make it look very structured like a typical suburban house. I wanted it to be fun and whimsical, like I said. All of the siding on the house is from Enchanted by Nature. The roofing is actually from Werewolves. I really like the mossy roofing. I didn't want to use the roofing that came with Enchanted by Nature. It was very like grassy, and it did look nice, but it didn't quite go with the built into nature kind of like part of a tree vibe that I was going for. So the Werewolves pack came through for this one. And then over here I'm putting some more windows on the tree bark portion, and that little bump out ends up being the kitchen. So we're going to throw in our counters in this lovely green color. I've never used them in this green color, so I thought that would be fun. And then I use the stove from, I believe, just base game. It's like the stove that has like wood underneath it, and then the fridge is from Cottage Living. I do eventually change the swatch to be a dark brown to kind of match the window frames in the kitchen, because I thought that that gave a little bit better contrast. There's also a brown dishwasher, which came with Life and Death, and then there's the tea kettle, obviously. I think that one came with For Rent as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then this sink that came with Home Chef Hustle in kind of like a darker metal tone, because I just thought that looked really nice and fancy. And then I used this relatively new flooring that came with Adventure Awaits, this stone flooring I thought looked really nice in here, very natural, so I put that for the kitchen, and then added a large overhead twig light from Enchanted by Nature. And I also wanted to put in a island in the kitchen for your Sims to dine, because I didn't really feel like putting a table there. It just didn't really look right. I played around with it for a while, decided on the island with the 2 bar stools. And then we're just going to take a quick trip over to the bathroom. I just picked out the basics that I would need. So we have the toilet and sink from Enchanted by Nature, and then the shower, I believe, came with Seasons. The mirror is also from Enchanted by Nature, and then the wallpaper with this lovely kind of foresty motif on the walls. I thought that was nice. Pardon my cat scratching in his litter box if you can hear that. We also have an apothecary table, a bookshelf, and a desk here over on the other side of where the entryway is. And this is kind of like the workshop area / chill zone. There is a little bench over in the back corner of that bump out near the tree bookshelf, and that is where I think everyone likes to go sit and read. It's like a reading corner. Also wanted to throw in a bunch of these shelves and these live plants to put on the shelves, so pulled those out. There's a lot more live plants, I believe, up top at the fairy's little secret rooftop garden. I made sure she had a couple up there just for her, and I think mostly the plants are for her, but I think that her partner also enjoys taking care of plants because he is in the apothecary career and he enjoys nature and bonding with nature, which makes sense why they would have gotten together in the first place, because they are both so very well connected to nature and the enchanted things that surround Innisgreen. So that's kind of the story I was going for. I hope that it makes sense to you. Over here in the little apothecary table nook, I made sure to use the wallpaper that came with Crystal Creations in that purple swatch. I thought that was so fun and so mystical, and I thought that it would go perfectly in that corner. Adding some more windows to the exterior and just trying to piece them in wherever I could. Then upstairs it gets a little tricky. So over here, next to where I have the bed, we have the bathroom. And I wanted to make sure I could hide this little bit of tree bookshelf that was poking through. So I did use platforms, and there's a walk-in shower in here. I use the shower from Lovestruck and the shower door so that you can walk into the bathroom, you take a step up into the bathroom, and then to get into the shower stall itself, you take a step up into that as well. And that also allowed me to have enough levels to hide that little bit of bookshelf that was showing through from the lower level. I hope that makes sense, but I thought it worked out quite nicely. I hope that you enjoy it too. And we will get back to decorating this, I think, a little bit later. I think all I do right now is I try to figure out the tile and the wallpaper for the rest of this room. And I just went with this wood tone again to match the other side of the house because I wanted it to bring it around and kind of make it flow nicely. So that was the whole idea there. But I will be cluttering up the rooms later on. Pretty much I did this like little by little. And I went back and added all the clutter later on once I figured out what I was doing. But it was a very busy week, so I didn't really have time to just sit down and individually do each room. Even though I tried, I was getting very sidetracked. I wanted to make sure I got some things done before I moved on to the next day, because otherwise I would totally forget. We are adding the dresser from, I believe, Realm of Magic. We also have the mirror going in over here from Enchanted by Nature, and then we will get back to the rest of the decorating of that room soon. This is our little upper living room space, so we do have the couch and the coffee table from the Enchanted by Nature pack, and also this base game television with the Aurora Borealis painting TV. I thought that was nice, and it was very pretty. It kind of matches their cat, because their cat has kind of a galaxy design on her, and I think that's just so much fun. I love that cat so much. She's adorable. And then we have some more windows and also this rug going in from Enchanted by Nature. And then I wanted to put the crystal table upstairs as well, because I think that our apothecary sim also enjoys working with crystals and like their healing properties and the benefits that you get from charged crystals and wearing them, having them around the house. So after we add these twig lights, I will be breaking out a bunch of the Crystal Creation stuff pack to make sure that we have everything we need for our Apothecary sim to also explore that hobby of his. I think that's just makes sense. We also have a bunch of these bug lights going in the bedroom and also in the bathroom. I kind of sneak them around the whole house, honestly, because I think they add just enough light, but it's not too bright where it's like a fluorescent light that isn't natural. And up here, we're going to start working on the rooftop garden. We have her fairy house, which is the stump that looks a lot like the one we placed on the little bump out, and then another bookshelf so we could put some more plants and some more seeds and stuff. And then in the planter boxes, I do eventually throw in a bunch of mystical plants. I did have my Playtester sim plant them, enchant some of them, and try to get them nice and grown and harvestable so that when you download this, you should be able to have all of those plants fully grown. Then we also put some planter boxes in the backyard, and we're going to be in the kitchen now, putting down some more of these shelves and some plants on the wall. And I also got these garden to table planters and also a for rent teapot to put on these shelves. And then I think this little selection of like a bowl and a little bottle and such, I think those came with Enchanted by Nature. They're like apothecary ingredients. I put those on the shelf as well. And a lamp from the Spa Day? No, it was either Spa Day or City Living, that little lotus light. It's really pretty. And then next to the coffee pot, I put a little canister, maybe that's for the coffee or tea, and a grocery bag to order groceries. And then some utensils next to the stove, some herbs in this cute little box right under that tiny window, another plant on the wall, and then a trash can because that's very necessary. And I wanted to clutter up this little cabinet over here because it doesn't really have any slots, which is very annoying. I did have to kind of shimmy some stuff over from the counter, but we have some bowls and cups and plates, and then we have the scale that came with the kitchen clutter kit, and I believe I also throw in the kitchen timer and also the oven mitts, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, the pink oven mitts. Over here, we just have some more plants right next to the stairs, and then eventually I will put the cat food bowls over there as well next to the trash can and also a litter box, but I don't put the litter box in the speed build. You will just see that in the screenshots. Adding some more of these beautiful twig lights because they are just very necessary and pretty, and I love them so much. And also a cool little Moroccan lamp that came from Life and Death on top of the apothecary table. This beautiful kind of river and rock and moss rug in front of the door, and then another pretty grassy looking rug that came with high school years, and a lamp on the bookshelf. And then I think I was just finishing up adding some more lighting to the room, more of these twig lights. They are just everywhere. They're just sprinkled all over the house because I thought that they just fit very nicely, and it did kind of look like they were growing out of the side of the walls. And I thought that was, I thought it was fitting. I hope that you agree. So if you like this so far, I really hope that you will like and subscribe and leave a comment telling me what you'd like or what you'd like to see next, or maybe what you would have done differently, or if you also submitted a build. If you want to give me your gallery ID, I will definitely check it out and leave you a little comment on the gallery because I love seeing what everybody comes up with. I think it's so much fun to see the tours when Simsie does them, and then also just in your free time to just kind of browse and see what else everyone's been working on. I enjoy that creatively. Now we are upstairs again in the living room space, and we have the computer desk with the computer from Cottage Living and a little jewelry box on there, adding some more of these like wall flower things that came with Enchanted by Nature, also some wall art. And then we're going to add some more cat stuff. We have a cat tree and a scratching post over here. And I also wanted to add one more chair to the living room, so I kind of just scooted everything around a little bit. But everything matches really nicely. We also have a stack of books on top of a suitcase, which is a functional bookshelf. I thought that was nice, as well as some tomes on the coffee table and a drinks tray. And then in the bathroom, we are just adding some towels, a little plant, the toilet paper holder, some more of these wall vining flowers, and then a little mushroom hut on top of the dresser in the bedroom, just because, like I said, I went back and cluttered up a bunch of stuff after the fact, so I did not do every single room in order. We're going to kind of go back when we're doing these screenshots, and you'll see exactly what I did during those times. It was just, it was a lot. I was trying to get this done before the snow hits. So I don't know what area everybody is living in, but I assume that everyone's having crazy weather right now, according to what I'm seeing on the news. So everyone just be safe out there. The world is crazy. I'm just going to live in The Sims for this weekend and not even think about it. But you'll see that we filled up all those planter boxes with some starter fruits and herbs and such. And I did have my sim plant those as well. Now we are in the side yard and we're going to work on this little pond. I do surround the pond with rocks and plants and tall grasses and all kinds of other things just to kind of make it really look like it's been here forever. I just tried to use everything that I possibly could to really make this feel like it was all part of the world and blended in really nicely. I think that debug and live edit really help with that. You'll also see I added some firefly VFX and also the ducks, and now I'm adding the terrain paint underneath the water to make it look really dark and so you can't see the grass underneath because that would be kind of silly to have grass at the bottom of the pond. But we have the terrain paint to help with that. It's very, very useful. Here we are back at the back garden, adding some of these lovely little fairy lights. And then for our last little touch outside, I wanted to have this beautiful stone wall that is in the debug and live edit menu. And I also put some benches over here as well as a bunch more plants and tall grasses just to frame it all in and to make it look really cute and cozy, somewhere that your Sims would like to sit and sky gaze or just hang out. But here are our Sims, and they are inside. We have our apothecary worker just starting out with the gem cutting and the jewelry crafting, so he's not that great yet. And then we have our fairy sim enchanting some plants in her rooftop garden space, and then shortly she will be flying over to her fairy house so she can have a little dance party, I believe, and she did that autonomously, so I was fine with it. But I did send her back down to the garden to enchant some more of these plants and make sure everything was tended and well cared for. And here's the first appearance of our little kitty cat. I forget what her name is. I think it's Nova or something, but she's so cute. And I had her and my sim be cuddly on the couch and spend some quality time together over here in the corner. I thought it was so much fun. Again, I'll have all of these Sims information from the gallery in my description box so that you can go check those out, because I had a lot of fun playtesting with them. They were really very beautifully made. But here is our final finished product for the Simsie Peppa shell, and it is up on the gallery now under my gallery ID, MissChrisBuilds. Again, if you like what you saw today, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on January 27th during the shell tours. I would love to see what everyone came up with, so if you want to drop your gallery ID, I will be sure to check out your build and leave a little comment on the gallery too, to let you know that I was here. Thanks so much, guys. See you then. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.